ghost towers, and speculator fever. Now let's talk about the people, or rather, the lack of people, actually living here. Data from the Dubai Land Department reveals something that should change how you think about this entire district. Nearly 2/3 of Dubai Marina's approximately 40,000 apartments are owned by investors, not by families, not by people actually living there. Most transactions involve offshore companies, cash buyers, or short-term rental operators cycling between platforms like Airbnb and Booking.com, hunting for quick returns. The result? Ghost towers. In some buildings, hundreds of units sit completely empty for months, sometimes years, while the owners simply wait for prices to climb. This creates a fragility that most people don't think about, because when a market is dominated by speculative investors rather than genuine residents, fear spreads fast. And Dubai Marina has already seen what panic can do. During the boom years of 2013 and 2014, luxury apartments here were fetching around 2,500 dirhams per square foot. Then the market cooled. Supply flooded in, and those values fell to roughly 1,800 dirhams. Today, listings for unsold apartments sit online for 6 months or more, without moving. Vacancy rates in investor-heavy towers hover between 15 and 20%. Rental yields that once made the numbers work are compressing, and analysts are clear about the risk. When you build a market on the promise of infinite appreciation, even a small crack in confidence, a repair scandal, a new tax, a global downturn can trigger a chain reaction. With thousands of empty units controlled by speculative capital, Dubai Marina is an ecosystem that is hypersensitive to the wind-changing direction. The maintenance trap. Here's a financial reality that property owners in Dubai Marina are quietly grappling with. Maintenance and service fees run between 20 and 30 dirhams per square foot per year. A modest 2-bedroom apartment can generate a maintenance bill of over 40,000 dirhams annually, just to keep the building running. These fees are supposed to cover everything: elevator servicing, facade cleaning, HVAC maintenance, common area repairs, drainage systems. But here's the open secret that nobody in the sales brochure mentions. As these towers get older, the gap between what the fees collect and what the building actually needs keeps widening. Infrastructure deteriorates faster than anticipated. Repair costs escalate. And building management companies are increasingly caught between legally mandated standards and budgets that simply don't stretch far enough. Residents in some of the older towers are already reporting the consequences. Elevators out of service for days or even weeks because spare parts are back-ordered. Damp stains creeping across basement ceilings. Salt deposits clogging mechanical systems. HVAC units showing advanced corrosion. Facade repairs are being deferred. Walkway tiles are cracked. Paint is peeling from balcony railings. In a district that sells itself entirely on image and prestige, these are not minor inconveniences. They are reputational and financial time bombs. Dubai authorities have responded. New regulations effective in 2025 require building management companies to meet strict competency ratings with fines of up to 200,000 dirhams for non-compliance. The intention is clear: force a higher standard of care. But for owners already stretched thin by rising fees, these regulations add anxiety rather than relief. Building managers describe the daily reality as a desperate scramble to keep essential systems operational, with funds that arrive too slowly and too late. Every repair that gets postponed is a risk shared by every single owner in that building. the flood that already happened. Now we need to talk about the geography, because this is where the stakes become truly existential. Dubai Marina sits just 1 to 3 meters above sea level. Every single day, a network of municipal pumps, drainage canals, and stormwater management infrastructure works continuously to keep seawater from reclaiming the ground beneath the district. This is not a theoretical risk. It's an active, daily operational reality. And we already know what happens when that system fails. In June of 2017, an unexpected power outage knocked out the primary stormwater pumping station serving parts of the marina. The outage lasted nearly 48 hours. Water began pooling in the streets. Emergency crews worked around the clock under immense pressure to restore power before the situation escalated into a full-scale disaster. For the engineers who responded, it was a brutal reminder. One system failure and control collapses fast. Now scale that scenario forward into a future shaped by climate change. Projections from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC, suggest that a sea level rise of just half a meter would significantly strain the marina's existing flood defenses, potentially doubling the risk of serious inundation events by 2050. That's not science fiction. The Gulf is warming. Sea levels are rising. And every centimeter of increase puts more pressure on infrastructure that is already running at its limits. For Dubai Marina, climate change is not a distant academic problem. It is measured in the daily hum of pumps, the height of seawalls, and the remaining margin between the waterline and the ground floor of 200 towers. The global warning signs. History has given us clear warnings about what happens when maintenance is deferred in coastal, high-density real estate. In 2021, the Champlain Towers in Surfside, Florida collapsed. The investigation revealed years of saltwater corrosion to the building's reinforced concrete structure. The same combination of salt, moisture, and time that is actively working on Dubai Marina's aging towers right now. The collapse killed 98 people. In San Francisco, the Millennium Tower, a luxury high-rise built on similar reclaimed land foundations, began sinking unevenly. Emergency stabilization work cost more than $100 million. In both cases, what started as manageable technical concerns became catastrophic failures, financial, physical, and human. The question being asked quietly among engineers and investors in Dubai is straightforward. Given what we now know about corrosion rates, subsidence, speculative ownership, deferred maintenance, and rising sea levels, is Dubai Marina the next story that makes global headlines? Dubai's real estate sector represents roughly 10% of the city's entire GDP. The marina sits at the center of that engine. A significant loss of confidence in these properties would not just hurt investors. It would shake the foundations, figuratively and perhaps literally, of the city's entire economic model. In 2008, the global financial crisis caused real estate values in Dubai to drop by 60%. Major developers were restructuring billions in debt. The ripple effects touched every sector of the economy. The conditions for a similar shock are not hypothetical. They are present. A question we all need to ask. Dubai Marina is one of the most breathtaking places human beings have ever built, and that is precisely why it matters. More than 200 towers, rising over a seabed. An engineering achievement that genuinely defies what most people think is possible. A skyline that has become one of the most photographed in the world. But ambition and engineering brilliance do not exempt a place from the laws of physics. The chemistry of salt and steel, or the slow, patient pressure of a rising ocean. The real question isn't whether the risks we've covered today are real. The data confirms they are. The question is whether the people who built this place, the people who own property here, and the authorities responsible for managing it are moving fast enough and spending enough to stay ahead of what's coming. Because the one thing that the ocean, the salt, and time all have in common is this: they are never in a hurry. They don't need to rush. They just need to wait. So I want to ask you something, not just about Dubai. Think about where you live. What's underneath your city? What invisible foundations are you trusting every single day, without ever asking what's actually holding them up? Because the lesson of Dubai Marina isn't just about one glamorous waterfront district.